His Spaz.
Yeah.
I let that time out a little too long. No comment, nothing.
What? I didn't hear.
I hate you. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back in here to the Oregon channel on the Voice of College Football. It is just us as usual here on this Wednesday night. That's how you doing. It was that an answer?
No. I
No.
was just telling you, look, I got my Oregon gear.
Oh, okay. Well, Spaz, as everyone knows here, I'm just Ben of Exploring with Ben and Sam right here on YouTube. Check out the channel if you want. Spaz, where can people find you?
They can find me right down there at Sean_Spazdrag on X. You can find me on Instagram as well under Rocky Classic and a few others. I'm sure our lovely man of the hour, Jackson Johnson, will put all our links up later. I can't remember them all.
Yes, Jackson will be in the chat. I'm sure dropping all the notes. Spaz, I think we can't waste any more time though, as
No.
he's a busy man, and I feel bad. I really wanted to make a highlight video because this is probably the only opportunity I would have to make a highlight for a punter. Unfortunately, the videos were like sideline and they were not great. So I just decided not to do it. But everyone, please welcome Oregon's newest edition, the man of the hour here, who's been all over the place. Welcome in, James Ferguson-Reynolds.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate the time.
I appreciate you guys.
You have been doing your rounds in the Oregon network.
Trying to get the Duck fans to love me.
Yeah, you really came on out of nowhere and really taken the Oregon fan base to a new level. Aussie.
That's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm just trying to bring my game and bring my my spirits and everything to Oregon, and have a special season. So really looking forward to it.
Well, and that's something because it caught us a little bit off guard, not off guard, but a little surprised because we watched the spring game. We did a live reaction afterwards.
Yep.
And in our head, we went, "Wow, what happened to our punting?" And then Dan Lanning immediately afterwards said, "We're not taking linebackers. We're done." And then about a week later, it's like, "Oh, hey, welcome, James." We're like, "Oh, okay, cool. we're all in for this."
No, 100%. That's just the joys of punting in the world of college football. Ross James, the current punter there, is, he's a great kid. He's got a lot of talent. He's punted for the last couple of years. That's just the joys of punting. You're either on or you're not. And that's just why I'm here. I'm coming to bring my leadership and my skills to the group in the specialist room and try and elevate the room altogether. So, yeah, really looking forward to that.
I think that's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Spen.
Sorry, you were saying earlier that you're going to be coming in soon. Are you postgraduate then, or?
Yeah, I actually graduate on the weekend, so I'll be walking and then moving to Eugene next week. So all happened really quickly, but yeah, I'll be graduating this weekend, and then I'll be doing a postgraduate degree for the next year or so.
Nice. What are you majoring in? What did you major in?
Business.
Okay.
Businessman.
Well, you made a business decision, apparently.
We'll go with that. 100%.
And that's not an easy one to make. Actually, one of the things I had because, as football fans like us, who we evaluate things from afar, we don't know the in and outs of it, so to say. Like, what does it take when you get into the transfer portal? Like, how does that work as a player? And you have like an agent, and how does that work? Because it's a complicated business to us and from the outside.
Yeah, it's complicated from the inside too. It's a mess. It's a stressful time. But I was very lucky enough to have a lot of interest there from a lot of teams, and I won't mention them personally, but there was interest there from the SEC and ACC, and you go days without hearing nothing, and then all of a sudden it just ramps up, and your phone doesn't stop. I think it was 107 calls in the first day that I entered the portal.
Wow.
Yeah,
Woof.
phone just didn't stop. It was in a good way. It was fun and exciting times. But yeah, 107 phone calls you get tired by the end of the day, just calling everyone. And it was fun, but very stressful.
You only have a short period of time to make a decision too, correct?
Yes, I thought I did. But this is, the education around the transfer portal that, it's not really out there. It's about a week window to jump in the portal. And once you're in the portal, you can have as much time as you want to be allocated on a spot. So you just need to be in that portal in that week period, and then you can continue chats and do all that. So
yeah, the only difference is if you're a official grad transfer, then you can just jump in and win out anytime you want, but you can get out of the portal anytime you want.
Yeah,
as far as I understand. Yeah, these are the in and outs. It's like there's so many different rules and bylaws and guidelines and stuff. I don't know how anyone keeps up with this. Is why you guys have agents now, because it's so complicated.
Oh, it's a mess at the minute, and I think that's college football and the world surrounding that is all trying to figure it out too, and hopefully come to a good a good decision soon, that there's certain windows and everything's straightened out, and everyone can actually know what's going on. And no, it's slowly getting there.
So maybe
now you
go.
God damn it! Go ahead.
Damn it! No, go ahead, Spaz. Go ahead.
This is why we call it live and uncensored, because we don't have anything scripted half the time, and we just kind of roll with it.
I have a page of notes and questions, but I can't even read half of my handwriting, so we'll see how this works.
Right. So you being from Australia, have you been in the States for a long time, or did you come over here for college from over there? How did your story go?
Yeah, so I've been on a couple of family trips. I know they'll be watching right now. So how you going, Australia? But no, we done a few family trips a couple of times before starting my college journey. I've been all over the place. Been to New York, Washington, LA. Been all over the place. So I have been here previously, and then obviously been the last 3 years at Boise State. Came here in 22. I think it was January 2022. So been in Boise the last 3 years. I've been around.
How did and it was a perfect segue, because that was actually my next question a little bit. It's like, how did that type of recruiting process work? Because Australian punters, especially, have become more of a prime thing in college football for the last 7 to 9 years, probably, Spaz, more so.
Yeah, I think Michael Dixon broke the record on that.
How does that type of recruiting process work? Like,
yeah, so I actually graduated high school back home in Australia, and then I actually did construction for 12 months. So worked on the shovel, did concreting, worked the hard life, and hated it. So I then heard of Michael Dixon. It's funny you brought him up. I actually heard the story. He was a star back home and going the NFL, and the NFL and college football is just becoming a big thing right now back home. It's blowing up And I heard of Michael Dixon's story at Texas and then going on to the Seahawks, and thought that was pretty cool. And there's a program or sort of a punting academy back home, because Australia, we grow up. I don't know if you boys have heard it. It's Aussie rules football, AFL. It's Australian football. It's just a kicking based game. So we grow up, from a very young age, just kicking the ball. Whereas you guys, you're throwing a baseball, you're throwing a football. The Aussies, and that's where the talent comes from, is we grow up kicking the ball really early. And then back home, there's an academy, punting academy called Pro Kick Australia. They've got some of the greatest coaches there that have played at Green Bay, Dallas Cowboys. There's a great selection of guys there that teach the Aussies the American style of punting. And after spending 12 months on the shovel, hated it, thought, why not go down and go have a crack and see what I got. But I went down and kicked, and then thought, why not give it a crack? And they said, I've got some talent, got a decent leg. So about 6 months later, Boise got on the phone, and those coaches send a lot of film of us kicking back home to the college coaches. And about 6 months later, Boise State was interested in my film, and then we had a few meetings, and it was at the end of COVID period too. So I had to do everything on Zoom. I had a tour of Boise State facilities all via Zoom, didn't even see the place, and then committed, and then flew over on a whim just by myself. And it was crazy times during the end of that COVID period. But that punting academy back home is where it all starts.
Okay. That's interesting to know, because I was like, there was this huge influx of Australian punters, which were a lot were extremely talented, obviously. So it was like, okay, how is that working? How does that work? Did you know Boise State had a blue field before you saw the video?
I didn't even know where Boise State or Idaho was on the map. So to answer your question, no. Nope, I looked it up and saw the blue field and went, wow, that's different. But no, I loved it. Boise's, it's a unique spot, obviously, and one of the greatest spots in the sporting world in America. And the blue field, it was actually, I got so used to it. I now go to a regular, we play an away game, play a different team, and I go to the green field, and that's weird to me. So, playing on the blue field every day, it's you go see grass, and it's weird.
Yeah. What was that like your first time out there on that blue field kicking and stuff?
It was cool. It was awesome. But, yeah, definitely weird just kicking, and it's just a sea of blue, that's for sure. But, yeah, obviously practicing on it every day, you get so used to it very quickly. But it was strange.
Right on.
I'll touch this. We haven't gotten to that because right now you're still in Boise. Yep. You're going to Eugene. You said next week, I believe you said, because Jackson Johnson wanted to say, ask what's your favorite part of Eugene. But you guys did spend time in Eugene. You just played there this last season, so I think you were there probably for. Well, I don't. How did that work with the travel from Boise to Oregon this last year? Because obviously it's very close. Did you guys spend like a day or two there? Did you just travel the day before?
No, we fly in the day before, and away games, when you're on game trips, you don't see anything, unfortunately. So to answer Jackson's question, I've got no idea. Never seen anything of Eugene, to be quite honest. I've obviously now with the recruiting stages, I've looked it up, and it looks like a great spot.
So you haven't been out here yet at all then?
No, we fly in, and then we get a bus from the airport straight to the hotel, and then we don't see nothing but the four walls in the hotel. So, and then straight to the stadium, and then that drive from the hotel to the stadium in the morning of the game was something else. There was Duck fans everywhere. So all I saw was screaming Duck fans at our bus. So
yeah,
it'd be good to be on the tail end of those screaming fans, which would be good.
Well, that's actually kind of a double question then, but I'll leave it at one. Then when you go into the transfer portal, obviously you just said you had literally like 106 calls, basically. Yep. Let's put it that way. So a lot of interest. Then why Oregon? And was it, Dan Lanning? Was it the special teams coordinator, Joe Lorig, I believe his name is? Or was it also proximity? Because it's really close to Boise. So it's kind of like convenient.
I mean, Oregon speaks for itself in my mind. It's arguably the best program in the country. To play for guys like Dan Lanning and Joe Lorig is something special. That the phone calls that I had with those two guys over the recruitment process, and Coach Lorig actually flew out to meet me here in Boise, which was really special. I didn't have another coach that did that, so to show that their dedication was to fly out, come meet me in person, and we had, I think it was like 2 hour chat over some coffee, and it was really special. We were going through scheme things and everything about Oregon and the team, and obviously the talent on the team and the guys protecting in front of me and doing all that. It became a very easy decision in the end, just with the special talent that's already there, and to play amongst a lot of draft picks that'll no doubt get picked up again next year. And to play at such a special place like Oregon was just a no-brainer.
Right on. So
Nope.
are you excited about the experience and the opportunity to play in front of the crazy Duck fans? And
yeah, to put it in a, I would run out for a punt. Obviously, last year when we played you guys, I was running out for a punt, and I couldn't hear myself think. It was, obviously when you run out and you're on a punt unit, it's just like everything else. You're trying to wait for the cadence and the snap count. It was the first game ever that I didn't hear any of it, and they're 7 yards in front of me. Like, I didn't hear nothing. It was so loud. The environment's crazy. So it'll be nice to actually be on the other sideline and hopefully get all the Ducks fans to chill out and quiet down so I can hear the snap cadence and pump with like 54 screaming fans in front of me. But no, it was a special environment. It was definitely the loudest place that I've played at. It was crazy. And like I said, driving to the stadium in the morning before the game, and seeing that packed streets just everywhere, from the hotel straight down to the a 10-minute drive to the stadium, and then you've got Ducks fans everywhere. It was special. So it'll be nice to be on the good side.
Well, Spaz, you were right on point there, because that was actually my next question, was about the atmosphere from last year. But yeah, Troy is a good one. Quarterbacks buy the O-line gifts when they block well for them. 2 punters buy anything special for the long snappers.
Very good question. I looked after my long snapper here at Boise. He's one of the best in this year's class. So, he was always near on perfect. And I know Luke Basso at Oregon's elite. I've watched a bit of his film, so I'm going to have to look after him too. But yeah, often took my guy out to some dinners and paid for a couple of rounds of golfs and everything. So we do look after them.
Hey,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I always have to remind people. I'm the one person on this channel in general to say, hey, all kickers are people too, right? The long snapper needs some love too. They're just as critical in all these situations. Yeah,
the long snapper position is very unloved, but it's just the joys of coming with the role. But that's where I step in and look after him.
Well, it's good to know. So it's not just the QB looking after the O-line.
So how is your golf game?
Right now, my short game is awful. About the only thing going for me right now is driving. But yeah, very on and off. It's I could absolutely smoke a drive, 250 yards, chip it up on the green, and then 12 putt very easily. So
that's me.
Yeah, that's me. Putting. Don't. That's where I will embarrass myself.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting.
Absolutely embarrass myself.
100% agree.
Are you an avid golfer?
Yeah, on and off.
Really?
Depends on the day.
Okay. I may have to.
What's your workout regimen like? What do you what do you do in roughly in a day as far as a workout for you?
In season or right now?
Both, either or both.
I mean, right now, obviously not with the team yet. Obviously, I think Oregon we start up mid-June, so It's everything by myself at the moment, just trying to stay fit, keep running, kicking a couple of times a week. When we go back in June, it'll be a lot of lifting and conditioning. With a specialist, it's a lot of explosive work. So you want your legs explosive and strong. So a lot of explosive stuff for me. Working on the hamstrings, the glutes. Really strengthening up that leg and the core and everything. We don't have to throw 600 on the bar and squat it. It's good in a way, but we work on those shorter, more explosive movements. Really strengthen the leg and the core and everything. But yeah, through season it's pretty light. We kick a few days a week, so it'll be 2-3 days a week we'd kick, and lifting twice a week, and then with the lifts it's pretty light, but still moving some weight around earlier on in the week, and then by the end of the week it's more recovery things. But for the biggest thing for me and specialists is recovery. A lot of people don't really understand the kicking game, and how taxing it is on your leg. You say that you go out there in a game and kick 4 punts and call it a day. Oh, that's the easiest job in the world. But you're kicking 60 balls warm up, and then you've got halftime. You're warming up during halftime, and then every offensive drive, kicking into the net. So at the end of the night, I can barely walk. Your leg is just destroyed. So recovery is the biggest key.
Well, that answered one of the other questions, because I was going to be like, during the game time, how do you keep it? It's like, well, of course, you're always warming up, staying warm, staying loose. Is there a now you said like June with coming to the summertime when they start picking up a little summer practice before the fall. Is there on your end as a punter, is there a huge not training difference? How do I want to say this? Like compared to say getting there like in January, February, but then starting just in summer, is there a big difference in the game plan or training or evaluation of like what you do as a punter due to say like coverage downfield, or how does that work? Is it more just like literally you just learn it and you're good, or is there a transition kind of like learning a new playbook?
In the spring, yes, definitely. And that goes for every position. There's new playbook that comes in, new scheme things. But during the spring, it's a lot more technical stuff. It's more skill-based things during the spring. So often coaches will be teaching, the wide receivers or whoever it may be, the techniques of blocking and releasing and getting downfield and tackling and things like that. But also adding a little bit of scheme in there. But for me, it's all technical based, just getting a lot of reps, working on technique versus the end result, really trying to hone in on the skills during the spring. Summer's a little bit more the same in terms of working on skills, getting a lot of reps, but, you're coming almost into season. You've got a few more months left. So it's trying to get game ready and find your rhythm and what you do, and really honing in those skills by the time spring's done. But yeah, over the summer period, it's weird with all the NCAA rules and what coaches can do and what players can do and team practices and things like that.
That's called literally net zero to negative yardage. I've only seen that a few times live, and that's like probably the most embarrassing thing ever.
That threw me off a little bit. No, in the summer it's just skill based, and then obviously going to fall camp, so then everything just ramps up from there. It's scheme and then putting it all together just before the season. So yeah.
Well, then in technical terms, not technical terms, that was a stupid word. In the thought of that, with the training and all the learning, the playbook, the blocking, all that stuff, is it true in your mind if the returner is running downfield and the punter's the last one in the line of defense, it's over?
Nope. And that's That's where the Aussies come into play too. The Australian rules football. I'm pretty sure Dixon's done it a couple of times, and there was a great few clips for anyone watching that's interested. Look up Wishnowski. He's the 49ers punter. He has absolutely laid out some guys. He's made some massive hits. So, the Aussies grow up tackling and kicking, part of the Aussie rules football. We've grown up tackling too. And a part of me wants to let one slip through and make a tackle, but it's obviously not good field position at the end if I'm having to make a tackle. But that was a plus coming to Oregon too. That the coverage unit is so good. That the guys running downfield. Hopefully, I can just kick it and run to the sideline and call it a day and never make a tackle. But when the opportunity's there, I'll definitely throw my body at it.
Unless you're Tez Johnson.
Yeah, he destroyed us last year.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
He's not there. He's not there. I was gonna say that Penn State kid, that kicker from Penn State, he was like 6'2", like 250 pounds. He was a big boy, and he would like run down and just smash people. I was like,
dude. So I was watching the draft the other day, obviously, and then all of a sudden just relaxing on my couch, and then Tez got picked up, and then they play his highlight film, and I started freaking out because he returned one of my punts for a touchdown, and I'm like, oh, please don't. And then the first clip, they play him returning my punt for a touchdown on national TV on draft day. Oh,
this is why I didn't make the highlight film, because that was one of the highlights that came back, unfortunately. And I was like, that's not a good highlight.
Delete.
It happened. Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
It's a good question. I mean, I've watched a bit of rugby too, but yeah, what's the difference between rugby and then kicking like American football? Because different Aussies, different punters have different style, like straight drop back kick, and Aussies they call Aussie style. Well, run to the left or the right and then kick.
And that's a lot of what I did at Boise State was, extending the play and moving the pocket. So I'd get the snap directly back and then roll right or left. And one of my best attributes is just holding onto the ball as long as possible until I feel pressure in my face and then get it off. And that was what they do at the punting academy back in Australia. Is the normal traditional way of punting is punting a spiral, but the Aussies have learnt that end over end ball and dropping the nose down a little bit more. We have a lot more control over dropping the nose down and kicking it end over end. The spiral is a lot harder to hit very consistently. So, the end over end, could blindfold me and do that day in, day out. But the spiral is a lot harder to kick. So the end over end is a lot more consistent. But yeah, it's a lot of what I did at Boise State last year is, even last year, it was a disaster play, but turned it really well. I dropped the snap from the long snapper and evaded a couple of guys and ran to my left and put it on the left foot. So, it's just what we grew up playing and doing is, working both feet and kicking the ball at weird angles. But definitely big adjustment learning the traditional spiral.
So you could kick either foot if need be then.
Yep.
You can also pass, because I saw your trick play from 2023 where you took it and passed for, I believe it was 11 or 12 yards for a first down.
21 yards.
21 yards. I apologize. For shortchanging you there.
No, I always hold that one. I've got the highest QB rating on. I always brought it up to my Boise State guys. I had the highest QB rating on the team. I had 1 for 1 for 21 yards. So a QB rating of like 280 or something. So it was great. No, I love throwing. It's I think I spend most of my time throwing on the sideline than I do kicking. So I've throw a lot.
Well, you and Oregon have something in common then, because Oregon has the only 100% winning percentage in the Big Ten. So
there we go.
12-0.
Hopefully, I get a throw in there.
Oh, I'm sure there's some of those plays in the playbook. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I hope.
Dan Lanning likes to roll the dice here and there, or just to spice things up once in a while.
I love it. I love it.
So, have you gotten to see any of the playbooks yet, or any of that, or?
Yeah, I when Coach Laurie came out, we went through all the scheme things and what their playbook looks like. So yeah, it was cool to look at.
Right on.
Yeah, it's interesting to look because special teams is literally a third of the game.
Yep.
Offense, defense, special teams, but people don't think of special teams as so important. And as Oregon fans, especially, special teams has been like an absolute nightmare for us for the last, like 12, 15 years of mostly field goal kickers, of course, not necessarily punters, but so it is just that important though all around as a third of the entire game plan.
Oh, big time. I love saying it. I don't look at punting as a defensive play. I look at it as an offensive play. It's call myself the fourth down quarterback, but essentially, it is an offensive play, and I guess I am the quarterback out there on fourth down, and you have an opportunity to flip the field and set your defense up with amazing field positions. If you can, we run the stats at BSU, and if I pin the ball inside our 5, there was a 3% chance of any team that's come through BSU, they'll have a 3% chance.
Hey! What the hell? What the fuck?
O sea, cuando
Go crazy.
What the hell was that?
I have no idea. Okay, so we're gonna do this a little. I'm gonna rig this. Hold on.
No, you good.
What was that? I've never had anything like that.
Special sound effects.
Something. That was freaking hilarious.
Okay, let me try this again. Is that better? Okay, so we just moved like 4 weeks ago, and I've never had this happen before. But the soundboard has Bluetooth, and randomly people connect to it. But I don't think I didn't know you guys could hear that. It's on my headphones, so I don't know how it just got into the system.
That was hilarious.
Weird. That was weird. I don't know. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
That was
Absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, no. I'll keep going. But no, we run the stats at Boise State, and to pin a team inside our 5-yard line, every team that's come through Boise State inside the 5 had a 3% chance of then going down and scoring, and then outside the 10, it was a 10%, and then it just kept going. So it changes the game. And remembering from last year, even in the championship game, we had a crucial punt just before the half. I pinned him inside the 5. Our defense got a stop, and we scored a touchdown on the very next play. The momentum of changing a game can, what punting can do is
field position change. Yeah,
it's a big weapon to have special teams involved, and it can really change games.
Absolutely. Tell me about your experience, going obviously into the college football playoffs the first year and all that. What was that like, being on Boise State and your guys' travel and experience?
It was awesome. It was a special year, that's for sure. It was obviously helps having Ashton Genty run through everyone, but it was like I mentioned earlier. I had just the best seats in the house. Going and sitting on the sidelines and watching Ashton go to work. There was countless times where we'd be backed up and 3rd and 17, and I'd be just about ready. I'd be getting the punt call and about ready to jump on the field, and then all of a sudden Ashton takes it for a 70-yard run touchdown play. And it happened countless times. It was in previous seasons I definitely punted a lot more than what I did last year, but last year was just special to be a part of it. Playing for Boise State and making the playoffs is special, and going back, they had a 3-0 history in the Fiesta Bowl. So, facing Penn State in such a big game coming from Boise State, obviously Boise's got a lot of history there of beating some big teams on the road and playing in those massive games. So, it was cool to be a part of that and part of history and playing in the first 12-man playoff. It was crazy to even think about, but, it was the whole week leading up to it. We were there for the whole week up in Arizona and doing some cool activities, playing some golf with the team and, doing a lot of media and everything. There was a lot of hype in town, obviously with the playoffs, and, a lot of fans and a lot of Boise State fans traveled. Boise State filled out most of the stadium, which was cool to see. Boise State really travel well. So it was cool to see a lot of our fans there all week too. But the week was special. It was so cool to be a part of a playoff team and, playing Penn State too. It was so cool to play such a big opponent on such a big stage. And then obviously playing the game in the Cardinals Stadium, that was so cool to experience and be in an NFL stadium with the hype of a playoff. It was unbelievable. I remember my first punt running out there. I was in my own end zone, so freaking out already. But it was such a special moment. We actually got called. There was a flag on the play, so I was waiting out there on the field, just waiting for about 2 minutes, just sitting there waiting and taking it all in, and sitting in my own end zone and seeing a full stadium full of people and realizing that I'm live on TV in a playoff game. It was very special. It was cool.
Right on.
As you and that's a great point. The playoff, I think, was one extremely special for everyone. But Boise getting in there, I was 100% defending Boise State needing to get in. A lot of people were like, Boise shouldn't be in there. I'm like, they lost by 3 on the road to Oregon, the only undefeated team. And don't ever, Spaz, mention Ashton Genty on this show ever again. Because after the Georgia Southern game, I was like, he's not going to be breaking off tackles like that against us. And then he proceeded to do so. So don't ever mention his name ever again.
Yeah, it was a rough game.
He's a special kid.
Oh yeah, no, extremely talented. I was like, okay, no, he's really good, really good.
Big time.
180 yards.
Shut up. So you're going from the Mountain West, which Boise State's actually joined the Pac-12 now, right?
Yep.
The Pac-2, Pac-12, Pac-2, whatever they're going to be now. Have you looked at, or do you consider or think of future opponents? Because obviously the Oregon's in the Big Ten now. Did you take any of that type of thing into context, or do you ignore the noise around who you're going to face next?
A bit of both. I actually didn't even look at the schedule until I committed. And then I realized, oh, wow, I'm going to be playing for Oregon, and let's see who I'm actually going to be playing. And like you said, like you look at the schedule and see the people that you're playing. And obviously they play some pretty big time teams, but it's exciting. You look forward to playing Penn State in a playoff game at Boise, and you might have a couple of massive teams there, but that's every day, that's every week against Oregon. So it's really exciting, very special to be a part of. But to play in those big time games, it was there's obviously a big selling point to come to Oregon. The exposure to go to the next level. Everyone's watching Oregon. No one's not watching Oregon, you know what I mean? So they're playing some massive games, and it's big-time football from week to week. So, it was a selling point for sure, but, Oregon's a legit team. You got dudes there. So, it's going to be a great battle and a great schedule, a great year. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, you're going to probably be able to experience a whiteout at Penn State this year.
No, we're going to get big noon kickoff. We're going to get
it's
screwed.
going to be a whiteout.
We're going to get screwed.
Yeah, I actually did look at that. No, I'm hoping for a whiteout. That'd be cool. That'd be an all-time experience, that one. But yeah, it just excites me, which is good. Obviously the nerves do come in pre-game, but I love egging on the crowd, and I'm only just a punter, but I love it. I love playing on the big stage. Nothing got me more excited than playing Penn State in a playoff. So, to go back and face them again at Penn State, it's for me, it's just fuel to the fire. I love playing on the big stage, and I somehow perform better on the big stage. I don't know what it is. It's funny, but I mean, it's a good thing. But
revenge.
I love the big stage. So yeah, it's going to be every week.
Adrenaline is a real thing, and that's
oh yeah.
But also just that desire. Do you have I know you just said you looked at it. Do you have a former opponent that you look forward to the most, to like, yeah, can't wait to play this team? Or someone in the future you're looking to, maybe outside Penn State, obviously, but in the Big Ten, because it's just a different environment.
Yeah. Well, at BSU, my answer at BSU would have been UNLV. We've beaten them 3 times now, 2 championships, and then 1 at BSU. So definitely UNLV at BSU. But Big Ten, I don't think so. It would have been definitely Penn State. I'd love to go into their house and knock them off. Nothing would make me more happy than to do that in their house. So I've really penciled in Penn State to go in and knock them off. I want revenge for that playoff game for sure.
No. Your favorite opponent is going to be Rutgers. At Rutgers.
Why's that?
I don't know why, because it's just bizarre. Rutgers.
We'll take it.
Rutgers. All the way to New Jersey.
On our network here on the Voice College Football, we have several schools that have shows as well. And one of our cohorts co-hosts the Rutgers show. And he's told me and Ben he's going to fly us out for the Rutgers-Oregon game. So we'll see.
There we go. That'd be good.
I've never been to the East Coast, so.
Oh, really?
New Jersey is not nice, by the way, but we better get some like field access or something like that if we go all the way out there. I'm telling you. Something.
Better be cheering for the punts. If we have any.
Yeah, we'll be. Against Rutgers. I watched their spring game, and I was laughing. I was like, what are these, high school kids, junior high? Because they all just looked like little midgets out there. I was like, what is going on here? So I instantly called the Rutgers co-host, and I was like, what do you guys got, junior high kids playing for you? And he's like, that's not funny. I said, they're tiny. We're gonna murder you guys.
Don't not ever discount the fighting. It's Shianos, remember? Shiano, it rhymes with piano. So it's Shiano, piano. It's the Shianos. Oh God, Frankeny's here.
Frank. Thank you, Frank.
Once you get to Eugene, man, we'll have to get you on again in the summer or whatnot. Once you get to know some of the guys, maybe bring a dorm guy or buddy or something on and have some laughs.
Be good, 100%.
So I only have like one other real question and a kind of a bonus question, depending on time wise. But in this sense, last season you did it in, I believe it was in August. You put it out. I could be miscorrect on the time. You were donating money for breast cancer awareness, or just cancer awareness in general, for every punt you got down inside the 20. This year, given the chance, are you thinking of doing something similar to that, or maybe another need or another cause, so to say? Or that was really cool to see when I was looking up different information. I was like, oh, okay, that's that. I mean, it's generous, you know.
Yeah. No, a little backstory to that. So my mum would have been 3 years ago now, actually came down with breast cancer. So that's where it sparked from. And she'll be watching right now. So shout out, Mum. You know, it was something special to me, and you know, she's doing really good right now. She's cancer free. So she's battling on. She's doing great. So you know, it was just something that I wanted to do personally, and share some love and support out there for the community, and give back. And then obviously Ashton ruined a lot of punts and didn't let me get as many, but we no, it was a fun. It was, you know, if she's not watching by now, but I'll ruin the surprise. Yeah, wanting to do that again this year at Oregon, and get involved with the community and do that again. That yeah, it was really special to do that last year and connected with a lot of the fans. And you know, it's, you know, I'm a big community guy. I love giving back and engaging with the fans, as you guys have seen on Twitter and everything. But you know, I love giving back. So yeah, I wanted to do
Oregon
that.
is very big in the breast cancer awareness. I'm sure you've probably saw Dan Lanning has really been one to very well spoken up for the breast cancer, and the whole, they bring people out every game down onto the field that are survivors and stuff. They do it every game. It's kind of a unique thing that they do in Eugene.
That'll be good then. Hopefully
Oh, I
get
mean,
Dan involved. That'd be good.
yeah, and they've done that with the pink helmets before. This last year was Lanning's kids creating the beat out cancer
Yep.
logo, you know, uniforms. That was for the Illinois game, wasn't it, Spaz?
I think so. Yeah,
I believe it was the Illinois game.
I think yeah, it was the Illinois game. It was one of the games I was at.
Yeah. So they are very heavily into that, and so the community is always involved. And yeah, Lanny especially, yeah, and his wife are going to be all on board with any support of that type of.
One of my buddies on Twitter is a season ticket holder, and his mom survived breast cancer, and they're bringing him and his family down on the field this year for one of the games. So,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
Maybe we could get Mum down on the sideline. She'd love that. That'd be cool.
So, are your folks have they been able to make it out for any games, or?
Yeah, they do. They do a lot of traveling. They actually came out for, would have been 7 or 8 games last year. They love the US. You guys will no doubt see them around, but yeah, they love traveling. They come over, and then from week to week, they just jump in the car and travel to each game and do a little road trip in between. So they make the most of it. They love it. They just trip around
Nice.
the game, and yeah, they've probably already started either booking and planning the whole season, but I'm pretty sure they were coming out for the first couple, the first 2 home games, and then head back home and work a little bit more, and then come back for the rest of the season. So I know they were planning a big trip, so it should be cool.
Awesome.
Not a bad life.
No, definitely not. They're living tough.
Hopefully they'll get out there to see the Beaver game.
Yeah,
where we get to fight those dirty little beavers.
there you go. That's another game on my radar. That was my first ever college football game, and we lost at their place. So,
yeah, that would have been 2022.
Yep.
So FFAT, that's some of your people, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're my
James?
parents. Yep, that's
Oh,
their
that's your folks. Right
Yep.
on.
Yep. There you go.
Football,
we
food,
go.
and travel. I like it.
They're onto it.
So they like checking out all the different food places as well. It sounds like.
Yep,
Food
football food,
connoisseurs.
travel, that's all it is. They love it.
That's the
Right
great
on.
thing about every stadium. Everywhere's a little bit different, a little bit more unique.
Oh yeah, big time.
So,
Yeah, they love it.
Spaz, you got any other question?
No, just awesome to see his folks out here supporting him on here and whatnot. That's kind of cool. We don't get a lot of that. We've had a few players on. We had Kobe Savage's dad on last year, and we've had the Rushing family was on. I got to meet them last year. Got to meet Kobe's dad at one of the games. Hopefully this year I'm gonna meet Big Dave. He's a big he's got a big football camp that he runs with a lot of high school kids and whatnot, and putting them into the college ranks. And he's a good dude. Hopefully Mateo will win some awards this year. Oh yeah, speaking of awards, 2 years ago you were the semifinalist for the Ray Guy Award.
Yep.
You averaged 49 yards a kick that 23. What's that like being? Do they like come out and interview you? How do those award things go?
They actually don't. It was all radio silence. I found out via social media too. So, those awards are strange. It's a strange system that how it all works. As soon as it's online, I find out too. So, I remember sitting there at in my room at like 9 o'clock at night, and then refreshed my page, and then all of a sudden I'm a semi-finalist for the Ray Guy. So. No, it's a strange process of how those awards work and everything. But if you're the winner, you're obviously on the College Football Award show, and they interview you there. So was unfortunate enough not to win it, but it was obviously had some great candidates that year that went on and got drafted. So it was that was a special year, and that's something that I'm wanting to give back and get back to this year at Oregon. I want to go out there and beat my last average and really punt the skin off of it for the last year. So, it was cool and very special to be a part of that. And, missing out last year and, it's just added fuel to the fire. So, looking to go out there and giving it my all this year and get back on there.
I will agree with you. I blame Ashton Genty for destroying your stats this year. Because in 2023, you had 55 punts, 49.7 yard average, 2,735 yards. This last year, you only had 43 for 1,872. Ashton Genty stole your award. That's all he did. He purposely tried to screw you out of an award.
We'll go with that. I'll take it.
Although he got screwed out of the Heisman, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I lean that way also. I really think it was Genty's.
That's the joys of these awards. It's going to happen. So no, it just adds fuel to the fire, and I know that's added a lot of fuel to Ashton. So.
Sean is an Ohio State fan, so
oh boy,
that's why.
He's one. We do a Sunday night show on all of college football recap during the season, and he's one of our co-hosts.
The norms, the norms. And this week is the Big Ten. This week, actually, this Sunday is the Big Ten schedule preview for the entire conference. So he's He's raring up right now.
It'll
That's
be
all
a
he's doing.
6-hour show. You might want to turn in for the last 3.
Kill me. I'm not doing. No, we're not doing that. We're
Yeah, it's
stopping
long.
that. They usually go about 3 hours, which is still too long.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
stop.
All right.
Well, hey,
Then-
we should probably let you go.
I have one bonus question. I literally have it written down as bonus down here. Bonus separated. Just so people are aware, and just out of curiosity, why not? When you were at Oregon this last year playing, how are the visitor locker rooms? Because they're not painted pink like Iowa used to do, right? They're not like some weird color.
No, they were actually really good. Probably one of the better ones that I've been at. I'd say the best is San Diego State's. Theirs is huge.
Oh,
Very surprising, but no, they were actually really good. Wyoming is the worst. It's the women's soccer locker room, and it is tiny. Like you can't even sit next to the guy in front of you. You have to sit sideways because your knees touch. Like you're sitting in the other guy's lap. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, Oregon's are good. Yeah, no, they're really good. They're pretty big, very spacious, good seats. So, no, they were actually pretty good.
Yeah,
just
you'll
thought
be
that-
able to enjoy the locker room on this side this time.
That will be nice. That will be very nice.
yeah. I just thought the pink wall thing from Iowa from years ago, where people complained about it and made them change it, and I was like, "It's an interesting question."
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, they're actually really good.
All right, Spaz, anything final from you?
No, I just appreciate you coming on here, and you got a great sense of humor, and you've really taken the bull by the horns coming to Oregon, and we definitely appreciate you, and we'll look forward to catching up with you. I'm sure I'll be able to come down and see you this year on the field and catch up, maybe take some photos.
100%. No, I appreciate you guys having me on, and thank you for all the comments. Yeah, it's been a nice, warm welcome to Oregon, and yeah, looking forward to being on the good side, and yeah, that's really looking forward to getting down there and getting to work and meeting everyone and engaging with all the fans. So really looking forward to it, and appreciate you boys getting me on and spending your time here tonight. So thank you.
Oh, and don't forget to check out, I'm sure you will with the team, but if you get a chance before, go check out Spencer's Butte when you get down there, and the Willamette River is just some great times down there in the summer.
Yeah.
I have seen both of those. They look good. So I'll be checking it all out.
And
Lots of
everyone-
hot girls in Eugene, too.
Oh God.
My girlfriend's in the other room. She probably wouldn't be happy with that.
Behave.
Uh,
But everyone, James's Twitter is linked. Twitter X is linked in the description below too. So make sure go give him a follow over there on social media. I'm sure he will be ramping up his social account here soon, as soon as he gets in Eugene. So you'll want to follow along with that.
100%. Thank you.
And
thanks again. Look forward to meeting you and your family, and enjoy your travel to Eugene, and we'll see you soon.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
No, appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much, James.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
All right. That was James. Despite technical difficulties, which got corrected pretty easily. Not too bad.
That was insane.
I didn't know you guys could hear that. I was like, oh, I'm having to deal with
No,
this.
it just came out of nowhere.
I know. That's why I was like, I didn't know you guys could hear that. It's on my headphones. That was weird. Yeah. Trust me, it happens once every like 3 days. So I'm like, I just have to shut everything off. Yeah, everyone. James Ferguson-Reynolds, Oregon's newest acquisition in the punting department. Great guy. Very personable right there. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it was a fun interview.
He's my new co-host. You're fired.
It went very smoothly. Had a good time. Yeah, that's what I
Basically.
thought. I thought you were porn bombed or something. I was like, what is going on?
No, I thought someone else was playing something in the background. I was like, the hell is that? Anyways.
Quite hilarious.
All right. Is there any other brief topics to talk about?
No, we're dead time. Everybody's out recruiting right now. So we'll just see what comes up.
Oh, well, there was some recruit. We can bring it up next week with some more info. But shout out, news of the decade. Cam Rising has retired from football after 7 years.
Ouch.
He has retired medically.
Yeah.
2 surgeons told him you will never play football again. And he finally retired after 7 years of college football. Shout out Cam Rising from Utah.
Poor guy.
He'll be a coach soon somewhere. He'll do some sort of coaching.
He'll probably be on Winningham's staff.
Yeah, I could see him doing it. Well, didn't he leave Utah though?
Rising or Winningham?
No, Rising. Didn't he leave Utah?
I don't remember.
I thought he was going to transfer somewhere, and now he's just got like, now you're not playing again. He's like, ah, shit.
No, according to Jackson, he's still there.
Well, that doesn't mean he's still there. He just could be because he spent all his time in Utah for the most part. Either way, yeah, Cam Rising's retired. Oh man, that sucks though. That sucks for Cam Rising. Injuries. But eventually, you got to just do what's best for yourself and hang it up. You know.
Yep. All right, man. Well.
All right. Well, then, yeah, I'm in full agreement with you. Everyone, please make sure next week be here. We will be talking about team depth charts a little bit, kind of the dilemmas of 2025, so to say. And other than that, I guess Sunday night, Spaz, the 2025 Big Ten Conference schedule preview. Yeah, on After Dark.
That's right. Tune in Sunday night on the main channel. We will go over all the schedules. Like I said, it'll be a 6-hour tour.
As long as we don't, it won't be as long as we don't spend 40 minutes on an intro and other stuff.
No, just 40 minutes on the top 4 schools.
I will leave. I will leave. 2 or 3 weeks in a row, I got kind of held up because it was just me and one other person, and it was like, well, I can't leave. So,
right.
I can't do that, even if I'm like, dude, I gotta go sleep. There it is. Let's go. Sunday night, we're back.
That's right.
All right, everyone. You silly people will get out of here. It's late on a Wednesday night.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. See you Sunday.
And once again, thanks again to James and his family for even popping in here. Some other people appreciate it a lot, and looking forward to seeing him this season why I'm looking at my mic up here when I'm on my headphones. It's just such a bad habit. Anyways, yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks to
Frank.
James's. Yeah. Thanks to everyone for joining in, and thanks to again James's family for popping in here and giving us the time. And we're looking forward to watching him this season. And we'll see how the summer camp and the fall training go. So best of luck to James though with the competition. Look, eating against. Damn it, Spaz. Quack.